What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, guys? Welcome to the latest edition of the Terrible Towel post-game show. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, and man, I don't even know where to begin. I have the game still playing in the background. Listen, you know what? I'm going to cut that off so it doesn't distract me. Wow. Just wow. Let me see who else is up in here really quick. Let me give a quick shout out to you guys who are here. Shout outs to my brother Tony, the Steeler Nation, Zulu Boys, Eli Coolin, Champagne Poppy, Jason Austin, Rolling Young, The Hawk, Michael Garman, Kenyon is in the building, Mariana Papa, Debbie's in the building. Yeah, let me explain that to you guys. Actually, my circumstance changed, and I appreciate Debbie asking that. Somehow, I ended up going into work today. You know, we had some training or whatever, so my manager, you know, my boss asked me to come on through today so I don't have to go in tomorrow. So now I'm able to bring you guys the post-game show. Worked out perfectly, right? You know, that's still a power right there. So I'm still not going to stay on incredibly long. I may or may not get the calls in tonight. You know, if I do, again, we're going to keep it really, really short, guys, because it's still relatively late, man. It's 11:14. I've had a tremendously long day. You know, when I commute, for you guys that don't know, I live in York, Pennsylvania, right? I have to commute to D.C. It's about basically a 2-hour commute both ways, but I only do it one day a week. I get the D.C. salary, so I can't complain, right? So I've been up since 5 a.m., went to work, came back, did my normal Thursday podcast at 8 p.m. Did that till 10 o'clock. Watched the game, finished taking notes, and now here I am doing another stream. So we're going to keep it relatively short tonight, guys, because I feel like I'm ready to crash. You know, I got the bags under my eyes or what have you, but got to give you guys some content, man. It's still as we got a wonderful victory. And I don't even know where to begin. Hey, what's up to my father-in-law, Leonard? I could turn my head this way and look in the direction of where his house is. So I'm not going to keep Leonard up too late either. He has to wake up every morning at about 5 o'clock. So let's try to run through this thing as quick as we can, man. Guys, what a ball game. First of all, I had a few heart palpitations watching this game. Let me explain to you why. Exactly what I did not want to happen happened on the first drive. First and foremost, I figured that the zone read, you know, type of offense that they run with a few motions and, you know, allowing, you know, Cam to either hand it off or keep it or what have you, getting McCaffrey going, it caught us off guard. McCaffrey was marching his way down the field. I think on that first drive, they only passed the ball 2 or 3 times, right? I didn't like how McCaffrey was able to run right up the middle on some of those, you know, inside zones or whatever. I didn't like that early. They scored extremely early, but how did they score? Exactly what I did not want to happen. I talked to Tony about this. Excuse me. I kept saying I'm fearing the situation where they get us in a situation where there's Vince Williams or Bostic one-on-one against McCaffrey, and it happened. That's how they scored the first touchdown. Then let's fast forward to the second quarter. Then when they got the other touchdown, it was the exact same play again, going the opposite way of the field. You know, and in that time, you know, they had kind of a pick play ran. Vince Williams gets run, you know, caught up in the wash, and McCaffrey springs the leak again. Another touchdown. But let's rewind it a little bit. Crazy stuff going on here, right? They score a touchdown. We get the ball, and on the first play, Ben Roethlisberger finds Juju for, what, a 70-something yard run? Catch and run. Juju houses it. There's that guy Juju once again showing up, looking like more than just, you know, a second-year guy. Wow. Just wow. Okay? We're right back in the game. Then what happens? TJ Watt gets pressure on Cam Newton. Cam, for whatever reason, as I looked at the replay, I saw that it looks like he was going to Greg Olsen. Lollipops it in the middle. Vince Williams picks it off, houses it, a pick six. It's funny because my brother Tony talked about that earlier today. I would love to see a pick six. You got it, Tony. There it was. How crazy is that? Momentum change just that fast. And from that point on, the Steelers didn't look back. Yeah, we did break a little bit when we gave up another touchdown to McCaffrey. And then, I'm not even going to count this last touchdown late in the fourth quarter. The game was way out of reach. But I have to say, guys, outside of, to be honest, 1 or 2 drives by the Panthers, I don't really have any negatives. I don't really have much to say. The only couple things that I did see, again, I didn't like the matchup when we got McCaffrey against Vince Williams. You're not going to win that. McCaffrey is the real deal. I know Tony is happy because he got his fantasy points popping. Also, we still have an issue covering the tight end. What I didn't like at first, I'm not going to beat the coaching up too bad, but a couple times I didn't like how there were still situations where we were caught with, there was one time when SimFBall was on Olsen, and then there was other times where the linebackers was there, whether it was Vince or Bostic or whoever. But I didn't see that many times during that one little stint where they were passing it to Olsen down the field. I didn't see the dime too much. I didn't see Morgan Burnett being matched up against him. And then later on, we started bringing more of that package out, rolling it out, and I felt like that the Carolina Panthers took advantage of us biting on the run on both of those passes to McCaffrey, because they caught us in the right formations, getting 2 bulky inside linebackers on the field. And I think that's a moment where you should probably try to maybe go dime or maybe nickel or something like that, anticipating if they don't run. But of course, you got to honor the run, because they have been gashing us with 10 to 15-yard runs on those drives. So I understand it. It's a chess match. But outside of that, I mean, guys, where do we begin? Ben Roethlisberger, 22 for 25, 328 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, we can't ask for better than that. Little concerned about James Conner. I'm just wondering, what was going on. Was he in concussion protocol, or was Tomlin kind of taking some pressure off of him with it being a short week? That's possible, but we did see him go into the blue tent. Doesn't appear to visibly be injured, so if anything, it might be a neck or maybe concussion possibility. We'll see what Tomlin has to say about that. But I was speaking to one of the guys in my other stream, and we were talking about, man, I'm hoping that Conner doesn't get hurt, because he said, if he gets hurt, we're in trouble. But let's remember, now come next week, we assume Le'Veon Bell will be back, which we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But hey, we'll see. James Conner has did more than enough, and I want him to continue to do what he's doing. I'd rather just see him get still a good amount of touches, even with Bell back, and just allow Bell to be another weapon. Oh man, defensive pressure. Good Lord. I mean, how many times did we sack him? Was it 5? Something like that. I haven't even looked at the stats, guys. Y'all know these are my raw emotions right after the game. When y'all know on Tuesday we'll go dissect some plays and things like that. But wow, defensive pressure. Bud Dupree. I told Tony, if Bud keeps playing like this, if he gives me another game like that, I might have to start calling him Stud Dupree. He's trying to be more stud than Bud, and he's far away from dud right now. Love it. Love it. Great pressure from him. We saw Cam Hayward. We saw TJ Watt. We saw Vince Williams getting on the sack. We saw a lot happening from that front seven. And we did start buckling down the run a little bit later, which I think we got, the Panthers in a more of a situation where they were needing to pass because they were trailing. And honestly, man, that's exactly what we needed to do. We needed to build that lead. Even when we went up 21-7, I remember texting Tony and saying we need this lead because the team don't look like they're able to stop the run. And we tightened it up partly because they had to, change their game plan. But again, we buttoned down and buckled it up when we needed to. Great performance from pretty much everybody. Artie Burns. Artie Burns, folks. Artie gets playing time late in the game, and what does he do? Comes in and gets a pass interference to put the Panthers right on the 1 yard line for them to get their, the garbage time touchdown. But Guys, I think it's it for Artie Burns. I don't think Artie Burns is... I don't know, bruh. I just don't know. I think Artie is done. But what I'm going to do really quick, guys, I'm going to read through some of these comments here I got. Just a few of them. And then I'm going to turn real quickly to you guys. Like I said, we don't have to stay on too much tonight. Not too long. We'll stay here for a little while. And like I said, guys, I'm leaning towards maybe not taking calls tonight. Maybe just read through some of you guys' chats, because super long day I've had. And I apologize, guys. But Tuesday, you know, we'll definitely get it opened up. You know, we got a lot of time, you know, between now and then. The All 22 will probably be available to me as early as Saturday in this case. So we'll see. So let me take a look at a couple things, man. I'm going to pull up the stats from tonight really, really quick as well. 52 points, guys. Most points ever scored in Heinz Field. And the most points scored by any NFL team this year. And that includes Kansas City. Here's a question. Are the Panthers a good team? I thought they were. They were 6-2. They beat the Eagles. I really don't know who else they've played. To be fair, you guys can fill me in. But Tony was even telling me, look at this, somebody already disliked the video. That's funny. I guess they're not Steelers fans, but that's cool. Who have they played? You know, have they really played team? Did they earn the 6-2? And again, I'm not poo-pooing them. I'm just saying, I'm still looking at it from the standpoint of, are we looking that much better, or are we catching teams at the right time? Arguably, you could say we did a great job against Baltimore. That was a pretty solid team, pretty solid defense. We were able to score against them. They beat us the first time. We got our rematch, okay? Cincinnati Bengals. It's another team you would expect that could be kind of powerful offensively. We were able to do what we did with them, but again, it's a divisional opponent. Same thing with the Cleveland Browns. We figured them out a little better the second time, got the win. But then you look at the Atlanta Falcons, you know, powerful offense. Look what we were able to do against the Falcons. And I'm thinking maybe that was a fluke, right? And then here we are, a team in Carolina, whether you hate them or love them, they're able to put up some points this year. You know, they did it against the Ravens. And we come in here and we bottleneck them. You know, we bottle them up. So are the Pittsburgh Steelers a good team right now? Or, again, are we just catching, you know, are we catching teams at the right time? Because I was just telling my wife, man, before I came downstairs here, I said, babe, because she says, what do you think? You know, she's like, because, you know, she listens to everything I say. So she was the one telling me, you aren't feeling good at all about this game. She was like, so what you think? You know, are they, do you think they're a Super Bowl team? And I was like, I don't know, babe. I don't know, because we still ain't really played the big boys that's really going to matter. We ain't played the Chargers yet, which the Chargers are looking good. We have not played Tom Brady and the boys. We still got to play the Saints. You know, we still got some teams to deal with. Tony brought this up earlier today. We got to play the Broncos. Now, whether you think they're good or bad, Von Miller. You know, we still got to consider things like that. They have one less weapon offensively, obviously, with Demaryius Thomas going. So maybe they're not going to be a threat. We got the Jags next week. You know, and the Jags were, what, currently 3-5. But again, it's still the Jags. You know, some hangover could be on our team from losing to them the last couple times. So we still got some things to figure out before I sit here and say that I think we are a Super Bowl contending team. I don't think so. I'm still not even confident that we are a deep in the playoff type of team until we are challenged by more potent teams. We'll see. But we're playing good football right now. Can't be mad at that. All right, guys, so let's take a look at some of these stats really quick, man, if I can pull them up here. Then we'll look at some of my notations, some of the things that I was documenting during the game. Then I'm going to turn to you guys. Total yardage. Pittsburgh Steelers, 457 yards. Wow. Carolina Panthers, 242 yards. Double wow. Passing yards. Ben Roethlisberger, 319 yards. Well, he had 328, but I guess we lost some yards too, so the total passing yard is 319 to Carolina's 147. Wow. Rushing yards. Pittsburgh Steelers 138, Carolina 95. So we still haven't given up we're not giving up the 100-yard rusher, guys. So even though it looks like we're springing leaks early in these games, we're still capable of containing the run, and our offense obviously is helping us out, you know, scoring more points, putting teams in a situation to where they have to pass the ball, etc., etc. Wow, we got quite a crowd tonight, guys. 156 people live chiming in. This is phenomenal. Very, very, very good stuff here, guys. All right, let's look at some more statistics. Pittsburgh Steelers had... so the app I'm looking at is not showing me the full breakdown. But we only had one penalty. Remember, guys, I'm going to take a quick sip of water real quick. I want you to remember what I'm about to say here. Remember our team was the most penalized in the NFL? We had one penalty tonight. Who was the penalty on? You guessed it. Ding, 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 ding. Artie Burns. But we got some sacks. If I'm not mistaken, again, just trying to memorize it. I think we had 5 sacks. But all in all, man, great pressure from our guys. So let me read some of my comments. Then I'm going to go directly to you guys in the comments. And like I said, I apologize for the calls, guys. I'm just not going to stay on extremely long tonight. Where are we at now? We're at about 18 minutes right now. So we'll sit here and chat it up for a while, man, and then we'll be up out of here. So here are my notations. Let's talk about the offensive line. Great job once again. Now, they did give up a sack. There was a nice move on Matt Fowler, you know, by Julius Peppers, you know, swatted his hands down, was able to get to Ben. I think Ben got sacked once or twice. Nothing too ridiculously bad, but it is what it is. You know, veteran move against Matt Fowler. But for the most part, the line did good as well. Fowler had a great block on that run with Connor, you know, to get his touchdown. So Matt Fowler is still doing a relatively good job. And I say, man, as long as he's playing relatively well, continue to rest Marcus Gilbert until he's 100%. Let's talk about the pedigree of the offensive line and having Ben's back. When that hit from Eric Reed was on Ben, a late hit. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know if that deserved the ejection. I don't know if it really deserved that because, you know, Ben and him kind of hugged it up, dapped each other up or whatever afterwards. It was a late hit. It was penalty, you know, worthy, but I'm just not sure. I don't like the ejections for, you know, upper, you know, beyond the shoulder contact, because sometimes guys are not trying to kill nobody. You know, it happens. Now, he was wrong. You shouldn't be coming into the quarterback like that when the quarterback slides. Everybody in football knows that. It was just a bad play. I don't think it was worthy of an injection. But again, I love how Pouncey and DeCastro won't having that. They was all in Eric Reed grill. Yeah, they won't having that. They protecting Ben Roethlisberger. I was loving to see that. Couple other things that stuck out, man. Rosie Nix. Did we see Rosie Nix featured in the offense? Caught 2 or 3 passes. I know it was 2 at least. And he was featured. There was a time when Rosie was split out. Randy Fiedner was out there calling some plays. What about that play? And I got it documented here, but I'm just remembering it as I go. Remember that play when they ran, they handed it off to Switzer and then pitched it back to Juju. So it was like a handoff to Switzer and then a reverse to Juju. The reason why I love that is because we've seen Randy Fiedner kind of, you know, work towards that play early in the season. We've seen a couple times where we handed off to Switzer. So that was a little wrinkle that they threw in there where they handed it off to him, but then boom, pitched it back to Juju. I love that play. I also love the play that Juju scored on when they ran. I think it was a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. It might have just been a first down pickup, but my mind is rambling right now. But remember when they ran a sprint out? Ben did a sprint out to the right and then threw it back inside like a shovel pass to Juju. Beautiful play calling. I saw some great things happening out there. Let's see what else I got here in my notations, guys. Oh, and Rosie Nix, let's not forget Rosie just impacting the game everywhere he can on the kickoff, you know, causing that fumble and getting the ball right back. Rosie Nix is still one of the best all around, you know, football guys that I love on our team. Let's see what else do I have here. Cody Sensabaugh, and this was on the 3rd defensive possession or defensive drive, I guess you would say, or series. It was a 3rd and 8. We forced the punt, and Cody Sensabaugh got an actual pass breakup, so it was good to see that. What else I got here? What else do I have here? I think that's about it, man. Because you guys know I was doing my other podcast, so I couldn't document things the way I wanted. A huge conversion. Again, we're seeing Switzer converting some third downs. I like the way we're sprinkling him into the offense in the deep shot to Antonio Brown. Veteran move by Antonio, I might say, by him holding the guy's sleeve on the inside, but they were kind of holding each other. But what was Carolina thinking? I know they're high on that young guy, Jackson, but you cannot leave Antonio Brown in single coverage like that. Ben finds him over the top, touchdown. So, you know, the deep ball is starting to happen every now and then now in the game. And I think that's all I got, man. Bud Dupree, I've got documentation on him. I said, Bud had a solid game, man. And our front seven in general had a very, very, very solid game. Good stuff there. So, yeah, as I end this, man, and, you know, before I go to you guys' comments to see what you guys are talking about, Chris Boswell kicks a 50-yard field goal. Wow. Let's give him a round of applause, shall we? The Wizard of Oz redeeming himself. It's funny because I told my brother Tony, I said, look, I need to see Boz kick a game-winning field goal. Maybe that'll give us confidence in him again. But seeing him drill a 50-yarder, okay. Maybe he just had a rough patch. So it was good to see that. I'm trying to think of everything else, man. Am I missing anything else, guys? All in all, I just think how we won that game, I never envisioned that it was going to be a game like that. And I really think the way we won it was we pulled out all of the stunts in play calling. I didn't see too many times where I felt conservative. We also won the game with third down conversions. I mean, it was one time we were like 8 for 9. So I think we ended up 8 for 10, something like that. 3 down, you know, we're getting 3 and outs on defense. That's something that we are continuing to improve on. And red zone offense has been stellar this season, and we saw some of that tonight as well. Pressure, you know, we just got a ton of pressure on Cam up the middle, and I'm very happy to see that because fast forward, who knows what our records and all that would be at this time, but whenever we play New England, that's where the pressure will need to come from, is right up the middle. Brady doesn't like pressure up the middle. Y'all have seen him in these games. He just ducks. He just takes it. You know, he's an older guy now. He ain't taking no unnecessary shots. Got to get Brady right up the middle. You can't, you know, swoop around the outside. So it's good to see that these last couple of weeks we've been getting pressure up the middle. And outside of that, man, I think the defense is starting to gel a little bit. We still have some holes, guys. Again, covering tight ends is still going to be somewhat of an issue. We got to see how Morgan Burnett is going to be able to, you know, fill that role. But we still got some serious mismatches out there in terms of the inside linebacker area. We don't have that freakish athlete like we had in Ryan Shazier. It just hasn't been the same. So the Tampa 2 is just not the same for us when we employ that defense. And that's just one of those areas. You know, you got to commend Carolina for taking advantage of those matchups when it was there. That's what football is all about. You know, you can't be mad at that. And like I said, when we look at the All-22, we're definitely going to highlight some of those plays because, again, from the naked eye as a fan, when you're just watching it, you know, sometimes, you know, you just, oh, why did this happen? Why did that happen? When you see it, you understand it a little bit and you appreciate it. And one thing I wanted to say really quick, too, because somebody said it in the chat when it started. Where are all those people who want all of the coaches fired? Where y'all at? I want to hear the same energy when we lose as when we win. I want y'all to keep the same energy. So tonight with that big victory, I want to hear the same energy. I still want to fire so-and-so. And if that's your preference, cool. But I'll respect it if you stay there. But I don't respect, you know, the ones that you don't hear nothing when the team win. You can't be going off and firing people just because you lose. You understand what I'm saying? It's a collective body of work. I think Randy Fichtner is doing a great job right now, Keith Butler has been doing some things to mix up the defense, at least to keep a lid on things. We're not really giving up the big play. We got to commend, you didn't have to see it too much in this game, but Sean Davis, guys, if you go back and look at some of the other games, Sean Davis has been tackling. He has been a safety net in terms of giving up big plays down the field. So a lot of improvements have happened. And mixing in Cody Sensabaugh and whoever else is seeming to help our pass game as well. And we're getting more pressure. So, and the head man, Coach Tomlin, once again, has his team peaking after a bye, second half of the season. And we'll see how we finish up. So I'm not predicting anything right now. I'm just saying, I want y'all to keep that same energy and say, fire these guys even after putting up a 52-point game. Because I've had some people hit me up and they say, win or lose, I still don't like so-and-so. I respect that. But I'm talking about some of you guys that say it, and then as soon as they win, y'all ain't got nothing to say. Super quiet. So that always cracks me up. But let's take a look, man, at the chat. Keep them coming, guys, because now I'm looking at them in real time, and we'll answer some questions here. And let me see what time we got. We're at 28 minutes. I'll stay on for a decent amount of time here. See what you guys got. Fire Bruce Arians. Fire Haley. Roland Young says, help my boy Sim out by hitting that like button if you don't mind. Yes, please hit that like button and don't worry about the 3 dislikes. It is what it is. We like those too because I like real feelings. Hit them like button, man. It's 160 plus people in here. I know we can do better than 43 likes. Kenya says, tell them the non-patient people who want to fire people after week 1. Absolutely, Kenya. Mariana Papa says, everyone make sure you hit that like button. Man, you guys are wonderful. I appreciate y'all promoting that. Steeler Card says, help us out and beat the Bengals. We did a favor. Who you talking about? The Saints? Saints got them this week, right? Talk about Le'Veon. Okay, Santiago. I definitely will. I want to hear from you guys as well because I'm trying to look at y'all, but I'm looking at comments as well. So y'all might see me doing this from time to time. What do y'all think we should do with Le'Veon Bell? I want to hear some real talks about that. What do we do? Are we going to sit Connor? Should we have Le'Veon Bell spell Connor? Slowly work him back in? Would you like to see some 2-back sets? I don't know. What do we do? What do we do to keep that locker room in order? Ali Howard says, do you think McCullers is done like Artie? No, I don't think so. If you've been paying attention, McCullers have been getting some pressure this year. He was all in the face of Flacco on a couple plays last week, but we're not seeing McCullers in the game that much because of the packages that we're running. Caleb says, let's get some revenge on the Jags. Yes, definitely need to do that. Nightwolf says, Sim, we minimized everything we have done wrong until now. Very, very good sign there. Should we cut Burns or just wait out the year? Yeah, you wait it out. Because Burns, let's not forget that Artie Burns is still under contract. This is his 3rd season. So at any rate, you know what I mean? And thank you for my brother Tony here. Says James Conner evaluated for possible concussion. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. And I think he'll be fine, especially having the extra amount of days, getting that little miniature bye with playing on Thursday. And hey, if he has a concussion, maybe we got to thrust Le'Veon Bell in there sooner than we want. But again, we talking about replacing Connor with a Le'Veon Bell. So we're in kind of a sweet spot. I just don't want Le'Veon to disrupt the locker room. That's my only fear. What's going on, Ron? How you doing, man? Jared Fry says, make Bell be second string, having him ready is an asset. I agree with that. Millard Locklear says Connor should still start. I agree with that. Connor ain't getting removed. I would love him not to be. Ollie Howard says keep Bell, then cut him before the Super Bowl if Connor is healthy. Well, cutting him doesn't help anything at that point. We already have saved money on him because the dude as of now has missed $8.5 million. So we okay. Real Fact says Connor is a bit banged up. Perfect time for Bell to get some snaps and play a little next game against the Jags. I couldn't agree with you more. Perfect time for him to come back if he does in fact come back. Supposedly he's in Pittsburgh. You use Le'Veon like they always do, running and receiving. Fresh legs, then time for the fresh legs for this time of the season. It's over for the other defenses. Yeah, you could be right there. Ladell Dorsey says, oh, I lost him. There he is. Connor's in concussion protocol. Yeah. Yep. Debbie says Connor should start. Bell can run with wide receivers. Still don't have a true third receiver. Very good observation there. Let's give Debbie a round of applause. And I want to be careful here because I don't want to give a sexist statement. But I always love, man, that, you know, to see, you know, the females actively involved and really know what she's talking about, you know, about football. That's a great thing to see. Claude Bishop says L. Bell doesn't deserve a roster spot on this team. He is a cancer. You could be right. Kenya says, Sim, that one drive where fullback caught 2 passes, that's where you can see Le'Veon doing work. You know what? Kenyon, leave it to Kenyon to understand the formations and such. You absolutely right. Because if I'm not mistaken, Connor was out there at that time too, right? So yeah, there it is right there. That's the formation right there. To where you slide Bell out there. There it is. And you have both Bell and Connor. That could be something to see. Jesse Williams says, oh, I missed it. Randy Feetnacardi, good game and seen some different stuff. McCullers is hurt with the ankle. Yeah, McCullers didn't play tonight. But I think before that, you know, if you guys remember, McCullers has been playing relatively well. I'm going to skip down a little bit, guys. Brent Fox says Le'Veon may be used as a utility back in certain packages. I think Rosie Nick's package was a preview of what we can do with him. You and Kenyon right there on the same page. That's exactly what Kenyon said. Do you think Ben should run more? I like Ben running the way he is running right now. I like Ben running the football when it's there, when it's necessary. We got to keep this in mind. Great run, got the first down, got down, but he did get hit. Okay, that could have been, you know, even though it was a late and it was penalty, that could have been a tremendous blow. You know what I mean? Like, that could have hurt Ben. Last week, he got the wind knocked out of him. So I don't want to say yes, run more, but I will say yes, it's great to see Ben still willing to run and a little faster, I might add, with him slimming down to pick up a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 3, or whatever. I'm cool with that. But in theory, nah, I don't want him running too much because he might get popped. Scroll down a little bit. Send the producer says, what do you think we can do better in the next upcoming games and the offense are starting to employ more trick plays? I'll probably go into what we can do better when we preview the Jags. So I'll go into that a little bit on Terrible Towel on Tuesday. But for the most part, man, I think we just got to find a way to, I think right now the weakness is covering tight ends. We got to work on that. We got to work on that, covering tight ends in the middle part of the field in general. That seems to be our weakness. Even though, you know, we give up a couple runs here and there, we seem to adjust to the run later in the game, so I'm not overly concerned about that, especially with not giving up 100-yard rushes. But right now, what we got to do better next time is just being able to get more on top of tight ends and controlling the middle of the field a little better. Mike Cox says Bell is not showing up since the new information from the CBA has been reported. He can sit out the whole year and still be a free agent, and his tag number will be over $20 million. Possible, man, but I'm also hearing if he does sit out, I'm hearing there's some type of loophole where the Steelers can put a transition tag on him, which would be around $9 to $10 million. And with the transition tag, you know, they have the ability to match another team's offer. So it's a tricky game, man. It is a very tricky game, and I kind of feel bad for Bell because I understand what he was trying to do. I'm not the fan that feels like Le'Veon Bell was selfish or anything like that. Not at all. It's business. I understand it, but I just think that he may have hurt himself here. You know, me personally, I understand you don't want to get injured. You don't want to risk that. But at the same time, I'm not leaving 14.5 on the table. I would have came in there, okay? It's guaranteed money. At least get all of my 14.5. And if I get hurt, you pray that there's nothing career ending or anything like that. And it is what it is. You still going to get paid then next year, all you have to do, honestly, all Bell had to do, again, I understand protecting yourself, but all he had to do was perform the way he performed last year, this year, on the 14.5 tag. Then he's getting big money next year. He's getting Todd Gurley money next year, probably even more guaranteed if you have that type of season. But now, this is where I think Bell has hurt himself. If I'm a GM from another team, I look around the league first and foremost to see what are the young running backs doing. Can we grab somebody out of the draft and have them productive? We've already seen examples of that, whether it's a rookie or whether it's a second-year player. Your Kamaras of the world, your Kareem Hunts of the world, these type of guys. You're seeing what Saquon Barkley looks like what he's probably going to be in his first season. You understand what I'm saying? You see what Sonny Michel was doing for New England before he got injured, right? So that's the first thing I look at as a GM. Then the second thing I'm looking at is the player's original team. Let me see how much their production has dipped without him to see how important was he to the team. That hasn't happened for the Steelers. I'm just trying to think like the big wigs think. Business. That's all they're worrying about. I don't know if they paying him $17 million. Your man might have set the market. And Gurley. I don't know. Let me see. Caleb Long says, I would like to employ the Vanimal as a FBNL. I have him as someone who could blow up the middle on a drive or a belly for runs. Yeah, that's a good point, man. That would be great to see something like that because he's an animal. Tony says, we the only team in the NFL this year with 52 points. It's amazing, isn't it? Especially the way Kansas City is playing. Looked like they could have did that to us. Looked like Kansas City could have easily put 50 on us in that game. Debbie says, and Connor's performance makes people wonder if Bell or the line. Is it Bell or the line? And granted, guys, we're not saying that Le'Veon Bell is not great. We're just saying when you look at it from a business standpoint, you know they're going to use that against him. Eli Coolin says the 2020 running back class is crazy good. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to think, man. Give me some more things, guys. What else we got? You know, we might wrap this thing up here in a moment. In a minute here. Sean Davis is playing good. He is, man. He's playing very well. Jalen Samuels had his first touchdown. Absolutely. Great play calling. And I like the mixture because it was funny because during the game I was chatting with some people and we were like, what's up with Ridley? And come to find out, Ridley gets some time too. Here's a question for you guys. Tony brought this up to me today. And we'll know by Tuesday when we do Terrible Towel if Le'Veon Bell returns. Whose spot is up for grabs in terms of the roster spot? Remember, they're going to have to make a roster move to get Le'Veon Bell as a part of the 53 if he comes in and signs the rest of his franchise tender. Whose spot is it? Is it a Ridley? Is it Justin Hunter, perhaps? Since we haven't seen Hunter in the last couple weeks, seems like they're trying to work James Washington into the fold. I don't know. And I doubt very seriously it would be Artie Burns. He's still under contract for cheap. You know, you ain't going to just cut him after his third year. You know, I think if anything, you wait it out to the end of the season. He's not getting that much. So whose spot is up for grabs? Here's another funny thing. Why was Cam Newton still out there when the score was 52-14? What are you thinking, Riverboat Ron? You really gambling out there. Well, Nightwolf says Chicolo should be it, but you got to think. Chick has actually did some fairly decent things this year in a rotational piece, and it's exactly what I just said. He's a rotational piece. We're thin an outside linebacker. And I haven't heard, I know none of us have really talked about this. I haven't heard what they decided to do with Ola Adeni and Eli Rodgers, you know, I know they had an opportunity to designate one of those guys to return. I don't know what they did in that regard. So, Adaney would be the only other guy, you know, because we're very thin on the outside. I mean, we got Chick, and we got TJ, and we got Bud. And I can't even remember who behind that. I can't remember who else is it. Who's the other outside linebacker right now that's dressing every week? Is there another one? Who am I forgetting? But either way, that's the reason why you're definitely not going to cut Chicolo. And he's a good special team player. Oh, yeah, like Brandon Yancey just said. Ben has 21 passing touchdowns on the season. MVP consideration, compensation? Possibly, but maybe compensation, but it would be hard to put him over what Breeze is doing, what the young kid Mahomes is doing. Did you like us trying to go out and sign Bruce Irvin? I did. I'm glad you brought that up, man. Yes, I did like that, and I don't know why Bruce Irvin didn't decide to sign with us. You know, you look at the game tonight, and you should be telling yourself, whoa, you know, this look like a team that, you know, is on a winning streak. They look like they might be something. Maybe they need a few more pieces. I definitely like that. And that lets you know right there that they're not finished. They're still trying to find more guys that can produce pressure. Bud is starting to step up now. Him and TJ are starting to become a fairly decent tandem. You know, again, it's not always about sack numbers. It's about pressure. But like I said, who's behind those guys outside of Chicolo? Keon Adams, but is the Keon, did they put him on the practice squad? I thought he was on the practice squad. I don't think he's dressing. So that's the question. Yeah, see, Kenyon just said that. Who's dressing? Are there 4 outside linebackers? I mean, not inside, but outside guys that are dressing every game? I'm not sure there is. Tony made a good point. Ben Roethlisberger threw to 9 different players tonight. That's something we don't generally see from Roethlisberger. Michael Garman says, the guy that played for Marcus Gilbert the last couple of games played well. Yeah, that's Matt Filer. Played relatively well. Clark says, Steelers gonna shock when they send Bell packing. It's not about how many wins or how good is the offense or some future pick. It's about winning another Super Bowl. Well, here's the thing. If somebody's willing to trade for him now, then fool on them. Cool. And whatever if you can get something great for him, but I just think the timing is so off now. Matter of fact, they can't send him packing anyway. Because the trade deadline is over. But maybe you're talking about next week. Next year. Maybe that's what you're saying. They're just going to cut the ties, then he'll be a free agent or whatever. Maybe that's what you're saying. Three outside linebackers, 4 inside. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So Chicolo ain't going nowhere. Yeah, man. This is a tough situation, guys. Very, very, very tough. So, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up, man. I don't think we got much more to talk about. You guys have been great, man. We got 70 likes. And look at this crowd tonight, man. You guys have been phenomenal. What we'll definitely anticipate doing, guys, come Tuesday, we will definitely be answering phone calls. Shout outs to my buddy Duran. I just didn't want to take calls tonight because I didn't even anticipate going this far tonight. I am dead tired, man. I've had the longest day in the world, and I got to shut it down, man. But Tuesday, anticipate phone calls. I know Duran will want to come on, and let me let you guys know because we have a large crowd tonight. Some of you guys may or may not know how this works. Basically, guys, you know, for you guys who are new to me, you know, my name is SimFBallCritic, as it says there is my channel name. I am a diehard Steelers fan. I'm a gamer. You know, I'm an EA Sports game changer for Madden. That's where YouTube started. But I've been doing this Terrible Towel Tuesday for the last year or two, you know, where I document and just give my account as a fan about how the game went. But this year I've added what you see now is the post-game show. So after each game, whether it's right after the game or a little bit later in the day, you know, depending on what time the game is, I come on, I give my initial reactions to the game. Then on Tuesday, we talk a little bit more about what we really saw in the game after I've watched it 2 or 3 more times in full. I'm crazy like that. And then I also show you guys some all 22 footage. You know, if you haven't seen it, go, you know, to the homepage of my channel, go look at the last Terrible Towel Tuesday, and you'll kind of see how that goes. But that's how that goes. And the way I take phone calls is we use Skype. If you want to come on, I just need a Skype address from you. I'm the same name on Skype. Just search SimFBallCritic, send me a contact, and that's how we do it. So Tuesday, for you guys that'll be back on Tuesday, we definitely will be taking phone calls. I generally like to give everyone 2 to 3 minutes to speak their piece, and then we move on to the next call or what have you, and there you have it. So great game tonight, man, and great show tonight. We had a phenomenal night here. Big numbers as far as the viewership. But what a game, man. You know, I'm a little encouraged now. But again, I still want to see us tested against a really, you know, well-oiled machine type of offense. We caught Atlanta kind of early. You know, that could have been a fluke. But I really want to see how we're going to play these next, you know, the guys that we're going to have to face. Because we got some tough roads going here. You know, we had this game. Then we got to go to Jacksonville. I think after that, I think we go to Denver, and then I can't remember the order, but then we got to go to Oakland. So we got some complicated scheduling coming up soon. So there you have it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. Hope you guys had a great night. Hope you guys enjoyed the win. Let's chew on this one for a little bit, and then Tuesday we'll get our minds prepared on what we're going to have to do to beat the Jags. Let's take a look at the Jags game, guys. Our Sunday is open. Let's watch some football and just, you know, just be regular football fans this Sunday and Monday. You know, we ain't gotta, you know, our game is done, so we can relax. But let's, you know, if you can, if you're in the area, watch and see, you know, what the Jags are doing. So when we come back here on Tuesday, we can talk about the things that we're gonna have to watch out for, whatever. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. But all right, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Please hit that like button, whether you're watching this live or if you come later on, hit that like button. That tremendously helps me out. And cut on your notifications, man, so you are aware when the streams have started and or any pre-recorded production. All right, that's going to do it for now. Here we go, Steelers. And I appreciate you guys tuning in to the Terrible Towel post game. Catch you guys on Tuesday.